Good morning, everyone. Elisa Maria here, and the neighborhood, which is dead. And Johnny.
Happy New Year.
We're out for
to
our
all
walk.
Elisa Maria subscribers and members, and we're wishing you a very healthy and prosperous 2025. And it's literally a
Dead.
ghost town
We
here.
can't stand here.
And there's just no people anymore.
There's no people.
This is so
This
weird.
is so unusual for us, the way that we grew up. New Year's Day.
Oh my God! New Year's Day
We
was
don't
a
even have to door at
madhouse.
6 o'clock in the morning.
Madhouse.
Yeah.
It used to be.
Yeah.
They would be, from curb to the wall on Broad Street, South
Yeah.
Broad Street. It was just pandemonium, and the parade was going,
Yeah.
and
We had a stinky mayor.
we
We had a
we
stinky
always
mayor.
used to stop. If you were too cold, you always knew someone who lived off
ran
of
in
Broad
the
Street.
house,
You ran in, you got a
got
bowl
soup,
of soup,
got a
had a
drink,
shot of whiskey or something.
Went back out.
And then right back to the parade again, all day long.
And you know what's really weird? Like, this is so ingrained in us from our childhood. We don't even put the parade on TV.
No, well, listen.
We don't even put it on. Who wants to see it?
Listen, my
I mean, I
attitude
do, but
is
you go down 2 Street and see it.
when they took the parade away from South Philly and South Broad Street, they could kiss my ass. I'm not going uptown to watch it, and I'm not watching it. Again, I'm not supporting the mummers. They turned their back on the people.
Well,
who created the parade.
did they really have a say, though,
course they
in
did.
taking it out?
Of course
Well,
they
then,
did.
well, these guys are strutting, John, for blocks and blocks and
Hey,
blocks
listen,
and blocks.
cry
and
me a
blocks.
river, Elisa.
Well, they should have made it a different way, that they still came down Broad Street and they still stopped in front of the 2
Again, this is-
hospitals.
this
because
is-
my grandmother, when she was in the hospital, sick as she was, she made it to that window.
This is a
'cause she
100
wanted to see the mummers go by.
100+ year tradition. It was started by the people in South Philly.
Yep.
The parade was by and for South Philly people. Again, listen, it was the neighborhoods that put together all the mummers that went and
Not one
marched
person.
every year.
Not one person on the street. Not one person on the street. You
We
would
ran
see
into
gangs of people right
into
now.
one fella who just parked his truck,
Yeah.
and I happened to remark about, I can't believe it, it looks like a ghost town over here. And he said the same thing. I was just telling my mother, somebody said that there's nobody out, and it's just,
Well, we did still have a
it's
firework display last night.
it's just weird. Well, everybody was out last night
We
for
had
New
a good,
Year's Eve.
I was kind of trying not to swing the camera from north to south, but there was a lot going on this end, a lot going on right above our house. I had a fit of giggles every time a firework. A bit of champagne last night while we were watching the fireworks, and then John went in. He put on the Twilight Zone marathon.
Yeah, the Twilight Zone marathons on
And-
New Year's.
I'm glad he put the champagne away. I only had like maybe one little glass.
Yeah, we
We didn't have that much outside.
We
Like we was
probably
like
had,
half of a glass.
we probably didn't even have half a bottle.
I was
because
up all night.
You were using those little tiny champagne glasses. We didn't even.
I was up all night. I didn't even want to take this walk because I
Big
thought,
difference from like during the pandemic when we were putting like dozens of bottles of champagne away.
forget it. Yeah, what happened to those people?
Oh.
And we would party all night long. But then John went to sleep, and I didn't know where he was on this Twilight adventure. And I turned the channel, and I don't know, what were we looking at? L.A.? Was it Natasha Bedingfield? She was in L.A.
Oh no, but that's before we put the Twilight Zone on. We were watching New Year's Eve in Times Square with the ball drop, and then they were going back and forth from L.A. to New York.
Yeah.
That
she
was
was in
another.
LA because she
another
lives
thing.
in New York now. She's from England, but she lives in New York, and I was surprised that she was in LA and not at Times Square.
I did Times Square one time in my whole life, and trust me when I tell you, I would never ever do it again. It was a nightmare.
I never went.
It was freezing,
Never.
and it was a nightmare.
Crazy
and,
people.
Yeah.
Crazy people. Just being like boxed in like that.
One time
not
I
for
was
me.
a part of the Sea of Humanity. One time.
To see humanity.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It literally is like a sea of humanity. You're in a crowd with all these people. When the crowd moves left,
I
you
know
gotta
you
move
said
left,
when the
or you're
crowd
gonna get
moves, you're
trampled.
moving with it.
You
Yeah.
have to, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Happy
too
New
much.
Year.
Happy New Year. That's too much for me. I you know, even being in New York and being right there, because I was at 8th and 37th. So, I mean, you know how close I was to Times Square.
The year we went to Times Square, I don't know, it must have been in the early 90s, but you couldn't get I'm not even kidding, you couldn't get within 10 or more blocks of Times Square itself where the ball dropped. Like, we tried to make our way to Times Square.
We should go up a little street.
Not possible.
You don't need to walk around this park.
You couldn't. Well, I don't care.
Go down a little street. I'm freezing. Ugh. And the doggies are out.
Oh, okay.
The doggies are out. But I was watching.
That puppy!
So I was watching Natasha Bedingfield. Now he's chasing the dog. Hi, sweetie. I was watching Natasha Bedingfield, and I thought it was like one of the best performances that I saw. And I love that song, Unwritten, and it was in my head all night long like an earworm. And it's such a great song for the new year, Unwritten.
Here's an interesting thought.
He's going on to another thing.
No,
what I wanted to say was that song is such a great song for the new year. And it makes me think, you know, today's day one, your story's unwritten, got 365 days, no matter what it is that you want to do. My process is to always start writing.
I only have one goal. I just want to clean my room in 2025.
That's the goal. And the goal isn't always...
take the whole year with what it looks like.
The goal isn't always going up the mountain. Sometimes you backslide, sometimes you stutter, sometimes you stop, sometimes you reassess. But if you write it down, because you know me, I'm a big writer. If you write it down and you have a timeline that you can look at where you've been, where you're going. Are you still going that way? Do you want to go another way? Do you want to reassess? But we get in our head sometimes where we think we're not moving or we're doing the same thing. But if you just capture those little moments, you can go back. I love going back and looking at my journals.
Documenting things is important, I think, because it helps you understand where you're at now and where you came from.
Because you forget.
And yeah.
You know, and then you have those little moments where you're like, oh, this isn't working. What am I doing? And you go back and you review. And the really helpful thing for me was if I'm writing the same thing over and over again, then I'm stuck. Then you really have to reassess what you're going to do next.
Happy New Year, Steph.
Hi.
How are you?
Only
Beautiful.
other person.
Can you believe it? It's like
I'm going to let him talk. But
so bizarre.
every rogue person that we see has the same story about how depressed they are, that this is the day, and our New Year's was just totally different. Even when I was in New York and New Year's Day would happen and I didn't get home, I would be so down that my year couldn't even start until I went to maybe the convention center afterward and had when do they do the convention center with the mummers?
That's where they end up.
No, but they do another show right after.
No, so I don't know. It's complicated.
When I was in New York,
I think the fancies refuse to walk down the street, and they only want to do their show indoors, which is another bullshit thing. You know, like, listen.
See, they're all tied into that. And my cousins march too. My cousins march.
It was
Nikki
always.
will be right over here later.
It was always an indoor-outdoor parade, meaning that you had to march down Broad Street to City Hall, but then you would parade before the judges around City Hall. But then, at some point in our lives, they start bringing the mummers, the fancies, indoors, right? Because they have all their plumes and everything else.
Well, they all do, but I don't think that they're any. I think the mummers are still the most elaborate than the fancies, aren't they?
Well, again, mummers is a broad term. Fancies is an actual. You know, there's comics,
right?
There's the fancies, and there's the string bands. That's the three.
The string bands are more elaborate than the fancies, don't you think?
Well, no, the fancies tend to have more plumage and everything else. Like they have the high, big back pieces and all that stuff. Whereas sometimes the string bands have a small back piece, but don't forget these guys are playing instruments. They're playing. they're playing banjos, saxophones, drums, so they can't really be as weighted
He's
down.
dragging me to a new neighborhood and I'm freezing.
Well,
I'm
so
not going to let him
the
get
other
away
thing
from
I
me.
was gonna-
So
I
I'm
was
going to
just
cross the
wanted to
street and we're going to go
observe
back
is-
to my house. And then when we get in, I'm going to make myself something warm. And then I'm going to read something that I read every year on the first of the year. And I'm going to read it to you guys. So I'll see you when I get back in my house. Before I go in, that little park right there, our friend started, our neighbor, and he started this. There was nothing here. And we have on Veterans Day, every Veterans Day, we have veterans from all over that come. And we have a big party right in this little block over here. But I mean, one person had a vision, and he said, you know, I don't know what arrangements he made with the city, or if he even made arrangements with the city, but you know, he took this block of land, and it was nothing, because I used to walk honor down here when I lived down on the other side of this area, and I would walk honor down here because it was the first patch of grass that if you had a city dog that you could say, oh John, you want to go see the grass? And I would walk him over there, and that was nothing. And Frank did all that work, Frank Cornetti. So just one person, one dream, one goal, and then other people started to see what he was doing in the neighborhood, and they started to donate plants and stuff and started to get people together. But if it wasn't so windy, I'd be walking along the side, because they just put the post in with all the different wars, explanation of the war and how many men and women we lost in that war. So I figured before I go in, I'm only like a half a block from my house now. We're back in the house. Well, I'm back in the house. Johnny continued to walk. You can hear my coffee machine going off, and as soon as that's ready, I'm going to jump to it. I'm going to give you a look at my desk, and let me tell you, I'm extremely embarrassed at what this desk looks like, because I'm waiting to film, I'm waiting to show you guys stuff, I'm putting stuff here, I'm putting stuff there, everything is all over the place, but I bought something that I want to unpackage and show you guys that how I'm going to organize this, because I'm going to just turn you around. So this is the state of the desk right now. I have my drills out for the angel, which I'm going to show you. I had this out yesterday because I'm timing how long it's taking me to do this angel. This is an hour and a half. So when I sit down, I know that I'm sitting for an hour and a half, and I usually only use this one in the morning because that's when my battery's full. Here's my little guy over there. And this is really what I wanted to show you. In here, I'm just throwing things everywhere. I have to glue this back on. It got lost. In here, this case here, it was neat before everything exploded in here. You know, you just have one of those days where everything is neat and organized. And I'm neat and organized. So this is like really like why I'm embarrassed. This case here, see this case? This is my makeup case from the 80s. I was a makeup artist, and this is what I ran around with, this case. And I never threw it away because, you know, you get attached to things, and then it became my brush case. It was my brush case for my brushes. Then it became my sketch color pencil case. And as you guys know, I'm displaced, I'm upstairs, I'm downstairs, I started to carry my diamond painting pens. Okay, so what I want to tell you is, in these moments that your life is crazy, you can have breakthroughs where, you know, other things, ideas happen. So I'm looking at this case, and I figured, well, let me get all my sketch pencils out of there, but I keep this in my drawer. I keep it right there, because sometimes when I'm just sitting by the TV and I want to sketch, and the sketching for me is just exercise for my hands and my fingers. My sketch work has really fallen off. And again, going back to the journaling, I have an art book, I have a sketchbook, and I looked at my sketches, and I'm like, oh my God, look at how beautiful my faces were starting to develop. Now, I could probably go back and, you know, really spend some time there. But I'm dedicated to this right now. There's only so many hours in the day. And, you know, this hourglass here, it's also what I use when I say to myself, you got things to do around this house. And sometimes I just set the clock on my phone and I use it that way. But this is a lot prettier to say, okay, come on, let's get it together in this house until the sands of the hourglass run out. It's a metaphor for a lot of things. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I got. Hold on. So thinking about this makeup case, and wanting to now organize my pens and everything else. My desk is up against the wall. My desk has compartments in it where I have my diamond painting pens, and I have like, there's a tray for putty, a tray for wax, a tray for whatever. You know, I can't even remember what's in there. Other things, sharp things, glue sticks, tweezers, everything is organized in that desk, but I can't get to that desk. I got to move 100, liquor bottles with that big heavy desk that I have and try and move it across the room because I put the desk drawer up against the wall. Okay. So I said, let me pull, I had my sketch, this little sketch case out now. It was a makeup case, now it's a sketch case. And I was like, oh, you know what? I have room in here. Let me put a couple of my diamond pens. And it's neat and it's put away because I don't like things out. Now it's overloaded because I keep going upstairs. I keep forgetting things, bring things down. And I said, you know what? You love this idea. I don't like having a carousel on my desk or anything like that because it's more space. And, I think living in New York, I just learned how to live in a small space. So I'm opening this up. I know my coffee's done. I can't even believe I'm still talking to you guys when the coffee's done. So I'm going to open this up. My baby scissor, because my big scissor is in the desk. Okay. I'm going to show you what I bought. Got this from Amazon. And I looked at a lot of them. And I bought this. Oh, throw it on the floor. I bought this case. Now, this is a makeup case, too. You could put all your contents in here, and has a little side sleeve so that you don't dirty anything. You put everything on here, and then you can wash it off. Okay, not a big deal. I'm going to put some sketch pencils in here, too. But let's do it this way. I'm trying not to show you guys the angel just yet. But here we go. What got me was the compartments that you could, has a strap. I'm not going to be needing that. I'm not carrying, not doing this as a makeup artist, but you could make your own compartments. You need a little compartment, you can move this over. You need a big compartment, you could take it out. That's what got me with this. And it stands up, and I can leave it on my desk while I'm working, but when I'm done working, I can put it away. It has a little strap on it. Oh, that's the strap. Okay, it's got a big strap on it. All right, and then, well, I think once you zip it up, yeah. Here we go. Once you zip this up with your little, is that how that goes? Yeah, because it's going to go all the way around, right? Because when your diamond painting pens are in here, you could see them through here, your scissors and whatever. And I just thought this is adorable because then I could take this and put this away, or I could take it and put it in the car when I'm going away. I could carry all my supplies in here. So I thought maybe you guys would like something like this. Now this is a makeup artist caddy, because here is the, as if you were being a makeup artist or even an artist. Oh gosh, that's got a tight grip on it, because you would wear this on your hip. You would wear this on your hip. You would have a belt, and you would put the belt through, and then you would close this, and you would wear this on your hip, and you would be able to pull everything so that you can use on your client. So that is what I am going to be organizing today. So you're going to see this go away. Okay, that's one thing I wanted to show you guys. What else did I want to show? Let me go get my coffee because I'm going to die. Coffee is in my head. I wanted to show you guys. This is the blend that I'm drinking today, La Colombe Corsica. This is the blend that I used in Petalbell. I was actually trained at La Colombe, and this is the coffee that I use. This is a very rich, it's got notes of like red wine and dark chocolate. Oh gosh, it's delicious. It's delicious. And it alchemizes with the cream and the sugar. I'm telling you guys, the little bit of champagne that I had yesterday, I felt like I was in Paris at the Moulin Rouge all night, dancing with champagne bottles on the table. I don't know what happened. I just went down, but I went down good, because I went down listening to Natasha Bedingfield sing her little heart out. Oh God, what a performance! So I'm going to show you once I do a little bit of cleaning up here. This is something else I found in my makeup bag. and it's working beautifully. This is a dolphin tweezer. It's got a nose like a dolphin. See that? It picks drills up wonderfully. And when I'm going to do a little bit of diamond painting today too, but I want to show you guys where I am with this angel. Oh my God, this is so bad, so bad. Okay, I'm using the back camera so you can get a better view. I'm upside down because I got too much on my desk to turn it around. Well, I could turn myself around, but let me just start here. This was the first block that I did, and there are two of the ABs in here. And then last night, let me see if I can find where they are, because they are my absolute favorite fairy dust drills. Oh, this one right here. Look at that. Are they gorgeous? They're a dark, and I was like, what number is this so I remember? I'll look it up. Hold on, let me see here. Fairy Dust 938. 938. Are they gorgeous? Oh my gosh, delicious. And so I cheated, you know, and I don't know why I do this, but it's always a learning experience. I went all the way to the end, and I was just like, I think after all the confetti, I wanted to do a nice chunk of color blocking, and so I did. I'm trying to get this steady for you guys. And I did all this color blocking, and I'm going to put the picture up in the corner so you can see, well, what is this? And then I'll go around to the other end of the desk. Okay, let me go around to the other end. Okay, so much better. You can see the wing, and that wing is complete. It came in later, and then it goes here. There's still some more that has to be done in there. Here, and then we're going to have that white wing again. She's got like layers of wings, because let me tell you, I almost lost my breath when I'm like, why is the wing, why does it look like that, you know? But the inside of her wings are white, and then the tips are like these peachy, mauvey. But this is the top of her head right there. There's that crown right there, and then there's a black sky, and then there seems to be like this I'm trying to remember without looking at the piece of paper what it looks like. Okay, yeah. There's like, there's just this greenery hanging. To me, it looked like a Christmas ball, actually. But it's so gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. Here she is here, just so you can get an idea before I pop it up, if I didn't pop it up already. Angel 121, 50 by 60, 80 round. It has 5 enhancements included, 2 ABs and 3 fairy dust. Okay, guys, I can't take this desk another minute. I don't know if I'm going to continue to talk to you guys or just put everything away in here and come back. I will tell you, it was I did want to take you guys out with me yesterday because it was New Year's Eve, and, you know, this is dead. This has got to go. Throw that on the floor. This is where my dolphin tweezer goes that I lost already. So I was going to go out for a walk yesterday. He left without me because he didn't feel like waiting. But, you know, I'm up late. Like, I not only, you know, stay up late doing what I have to do, but before I even go upstairs, I am doing stuff around the house. So, because I like to come down and I like to find my home neat. All my sharp things I'm putting in here. My tweezers, my little scissor. I'm going to put my cuticle scissors in here because this is what I use to pull drills off the canvas. I don't use a tweezer. So I'm going to close that. These are dedicated for diamond painting. I'm going to put my X-Acto knife in there. Okay. I guess I could, maybe not. Oh, this is going to actually get my, this is actually going to get my drawing stuff back. Where it can have this to itself. The wax pencil that I bought, impossible to sharpen. I went and put it inside my good German sharpener. I had it down here. And, you know, that is for colored pencils so that you can make your colored pencils and regular pencils. They sharpen like this with a really long point. And I was like, no, I'm going to end up breaking it. So what I've been doing with this is just using it as when I got to dig a little wax out and I can't find my wax, I use it there. What else is in here? I have a pen in here. I'm going to keep a glue stick in here, put in the short one. Is that all I have in here for diamond painting? And the rest is all sketch stuff? I can get this off my desk because I'm telling you guys, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I have a bunch of stuff in here. Again, colored pencils. Pencils, don't need them. My liners I use like crazy. I'll keep them separately. And my, you know, little funnel here. I like that. I keep these just because sometimes I just keep the squishies on there because I use my squishies for so many things. So many. Use your squishy. Don't be like me. Here's my China marker. That has to go in here. Anything else? No. Okay. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm starting to breathe. I'm starting to breathe because then I could put all this back in my drawer and get it out of my way. Now, here's a tweezer. I really don't really even use these anymore. Now that I got my dolphin tweezer, I'll keep it out of here because I don't need it in there. And then here's all my sketch pencils and stuff. Just for when I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm like, let me do a little, because I don't know about you, but do your hands hurt from diamond painting? My hands hurt. And I think it's because, you know, you're doing this tedious work where you're holding a pen, you know. Put that in there. These are my erasers. Have a little charcoal in here. I'm going to wind up getting this all over me, but I have a little piece of charcoal in here. Sometimes I use that for depth. I have my Bic pen, my holiday one. Are these the best? Bic makes the best pens. I'm a Bic girl from way back. Oh, look, there's a little Bic man in there. See him? Bic girl from way back. They're made in France. Does it say made in France in there? Yep, made in France. Made in France. Love Bic. I think Bic still to this day makes the best pencils, pens. Put that in there. I got my little smudger in there. And this is just, I'm probably not going to use that anymore. Is everybody in here? An extra wax pencil. And look, this is a tall one. So, I mean, it could probably go right over that case. How about that? We'll put the strap back in there. What else is in here that I need? Really nothing. Oh, here we go. I can put this in here from the Diamond Painting Shop. Where did I get this from? Because I didn't open up Cafe Terrace. It's still in there. What did I get from Diamond Painting Shop? This is recent, too. Did I order two from... And I was like, oh, there's actually feathered washi in there. I'm going to use that for Queen of the Raptors. I don't know. I don't know where this came from because Diamond Painting Shop, I just got the Cafe Terrace. I'm going to put that in there for now. Let me put my little paper in here so I know, because that has to go in my diamond painting book. All right. Then I have a bunch of other stuff that is just not even, I don't need this anymore. This I used to kit up. I'm going to put that away. I could really, let's get that out of there. I could really, because I'm starting to sprawl out over here. I'm just trying to see what I can actually fit in here. I could put a few trays in here. Guys, I'm loving this. I don't know about you. Now, this is the large. They actually had an extra large, too. They have a small, a medium. I got the large because I know me. And they had an extra large. And like I said, you can use these. You can take these apart, these little inserts. And you can make your own how wide you want your category to be over here. Like, I can shorten this up. And I can maybe just put my diamond painting rollers in there by themselves. How about that? But you can put trays in there. Okay. All right. I just wanted to see if I can get them in there, and I can. So, you know, you're traveling or whatever. And like I said, I don't like things on my desk. And if you had to travel and you got a carousel on your desk, then you have to take things out, and then how are you putting them away? These are a bunch of bookmarks that I ordered from Temu. This is a black magic marker. I don't need that. This is my roll for my angel. This is another phone stand that I just got from Temu. So I'm going to put that in there because for when I video and whatever. So that can go in there. I'll put it in here with the, yeah, it's going to go in here with the rollers because it's magnetized. And look, it's standing straight up. I'm going to put that away. Here's my little baby, I haven't done anything since you see me open that up. Because I'll tell you, the glue stinks. And I'm not into it. So, all right. Oh, here's my cover for my scissor. Let me put this away. I'm still holding it in my hand. Put that in there. Hopefully by then John will be back. Because I wanted him to do a little instrumental while I read to you the first day of the Book of Awakening. And I think I'm going to have to lay this out flat. So let me move this out of the way. I will link this for you. Oh, wait, I'm going to put my scissor cover on. He wrote a song, my husband. It's instrumental. And I think that that's even going to cause me a problem with him playing with the music. I got to get this music situation together with YouTube. Because, you know, permissions and everything else. But there it is. There's my bag. I'm going to take it with me. I'll give you an idea of like how big it is. It'll be on my desk while I'm jumping upstairs and downstairs. Even if I have to get some stuff upstairs, I can run up the steps with this, put it in here, and come back down. Because I'm always running with things in my hands, sharp objects and everything else. I love it. Okay, what else can I show you guys? What else is going on? I got that, I got that, I got that. Let me put this stuff away, and then I'm going to get my book. So I wanted to share with you what I read almost on a daily basis. The Book of Awakening by Marc Nepo is a book that I have been carrying around with me since, I don't know, probably my yoga teacher training. And then when I became a yoga teacher, I started to use it in my classes as a way to, you know, sometimes there's silence in class and you give your students space, but other times, like when I was teaching yin or restorative yoga, and these are long held poses, it was nice to read them something, especially if you would see a student where they were having a hard time settling down or anchoring their mind or their body, and you'd have them focus on your voice and their breathing. And this one, there were certain readings in the Book of Awakening that would always make me stop. I mean, Marc Nepo never fails to bring some emotion up out of me, no matter how many years I go back and I read this passage every January 1st. And this one is called, and I read it last year, it'd be interesting to pull that video and see if I could maybe link it, if I could find it. And it's probably in the Self-Care Sundays that I was doing at one time. But then, you know, YouTube, they like to throw you in a tin into, like, you know, they kick you out of the algorithm when you start talking about something else. So here it goes. And so maybe you're doing something right now. Maybe you're just sitting and listening. Maybe you're having a cup of coffee like I am, kind of. It's probably one of his most beautiful writings. It's called Precious Human Birth by Marc Nepo. Of all the things that exist, we breathe and wake and turn it into a song. And I felt like that with my yoga teacher training. I felt like the way that my teacher taught me, and that's Karina Benner, and you might even find some of her videos here on YouTube. I'm going to tag her. Is the way that she executed her training and she gave all to us. It felt like a song when it all came together. I'm already getting misty. Okay. There is a Buddhist precept that asks us to be mindful of how rare it is to find ourselves in human form on earth. It is a really beautiful view of life that offers us the chance to feel enormous appreciation for the fact that we are here as individual spirits filled with consciousness, drinking water and chopping wood. It asks us to look about at the ant and the antelope, at the worm and the butterfly, at the dog and the castrated bull, at the hawk and the wild lonely tiger, at the 100-year-old oak and the 1,000-year-old patch of ocean. It asks us to understand that no other life form has the consciousness of being that we are privileged to. It asks us to recognize that of all the endless species of plants and animals and minerals that make up the earth, a very small portion of life has the wakefulness of spirit that we call being human. That I can rise from some depth of awareness to express this to you, and that you can receive me in this instant, a part of our precious human birth. You could have been an ant. I could have been an anteater. You could have been rain. I could have been a lick of salt. But we were blessed in this time, in this place, to be human beings, alive in rare ways we often take for granted. All of this to say, this precious human birth is unrepeatable. So what will you do today, knowing that you are one of the most rarest forms of life to ever walk the earth? How will you carry yourself? What will you do with your hands? What will you ask, and of whom? Tomorrow you could die and become an ant, and someone will be setting traps for you. But today, you are precious and rare and awake. It ushers us into grateful living. It makes hesitation useless. Grateful and awake, ask what you need to know now. Say what you feel now. Love what you love now. That's the reading. It's a 2-minute read. And what I love about this book is also that Marc Nepo would put a series of, if you're a journaler like he is, and he would pose questions to you and little exercises. And the exercise here was to sit outside if possible or near a window and note the other life forms around you. And, this reading always kicks off my new year. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you something to think about. And, everything always comes back full circle, doesn't it? I was talking about, just hearing Natasha Bedingfield sing that song last night. And she just, the crowd was going wild. And she was like in this state. You could have almost seen like she was just in this state, that she was so present, so aware, giving it her all. And, a lot of the performers were performing in the rain last night. We didn't even think we were going to have fireworks because of the rain. And, when she got to that part where it was like, feel the rain on your skin, like everybody was just going nuts because it's such a beautiful song. And so, everything does come back, for me at least. I never stopped journaling. My journal came to, teacher training with me. My journal comes to an art class with me. I'm taking notes. As things are popping up while I'm in the experience, even here. And sometimes when I'm even talking to you guys, I have a little pen on the side. I try not to be too obvious about it, but I'm jotting things down that I want to make sure gets into the video, into the description. Sometimes it's a hit or a miss, but I'm always, capturing these little, it's like a window opening and closing, these little glimpses of what it is and where I want to go. And I think, again, I didn't think that this was going to be a video advocating on journaling, but I think that if you don't want to do a deep dive, and that's not easy for people, looking at a blank page is also like looking at a canvas or, looking at a diamond painting. But in the end, what do you get? Right? In the end, you get this glittering, shimmering masterpiece. And you're going to see when you start to write those, you don't have to do a deep dive. Maybe you just do they call it gratitude, or at least that's what it was called, like, 3 things of gratitude, that you would write things that you were grateful for during the day. And it could be like the simplest things. And sometimes you feel like, oh, this is like so stupid. Like I'm going to write that, I had a cover on my bed that I, whatever. But when you do without, like being misplaced, like I am in my home right now, not knowing when I'm going to be able to get back into my routine, I could just lay there and be complaining about the fact, well, I'm not going to do my YouTube videos. I don't feel comfortable. But I try to make bloom where you were planted, right? That's what we do. And so if you decide to write some things down, maybe it's just get a bunch of index cards. I did that in the beginning. Get a bunch of index cards. And there's got to be at least one thing that gives you a glimmer. And that's what it's called now. That's where I was going. It used to be called gratitude, and I don't know why. We keep changing words around and their meaning. But now it's called glimmers. You have these moments of glimmer. And I do get that. And especially in this whole art form, I get it even more. You do like that little fairy dust diamond that I showed you guys. I mean, there's just one in there, but she's that little glimmer that makes everything else around her sparkle. And you have those little moments in your day where, we have to capture them. You might experience, and like that quick, you might be experiencing something that feels really good. And then that quick, it's something else. Something else is going on. You know, my girlfriend texted me like 4 days ago, and I'm like, I got to get back to her. I got to get back. I got to get back. I got to get back. And then she texted me again. She's like, are you okay? Because I didn't hear back from you. I'm like, oh my God. Am I this busy that I can't take a moment to get to a friend and say, yes, I got your message? But I think that when you start to capture these little glimmers, these little bits of fairy dust that, you know, are in the middle of a very chaotic day. I'm going to show you my canvas again. Moments where, you know, where's that little glimmer? Right there. There she is. She's right there. And then there's like another one right here. Am I in the shot? Right here. So, you know, this is the day. Here's the day, you know? And then there's that one glimmer. Make sure you capture it. Make sure you write it down. Make sure it's something that you could go back and you can reflect on and be like, hey, you know what? The day was like, but I had this one moment. And then you put it away. Put it on your index card. Put it in an envelope. You have to do, and this is really what I try to do for John too, because he knows that when he takes time to write, that he feels better. He was getting up early in the morning. He was doing the artist way with me. And once you do the artist way, you can go back. I was going back yearly. This last year I started it, but then I got COVID. And so that knocked me on my ass for a good long time. And then you got to get out of the perfectionism of life. And you got to just be like, you know, here's how I look at it now. I'm going to start I'm going to start the Book of Awakening, or I'm going to start the Artist Way. This is day one. I have 365 days ahead of me that go by like this. And this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. But it's great. Dream big. But then I got COVID. And then I got long COVID. And then I was just like feeling like I was never coming out of it. But it was really just a pebble in the road. It seemed so big at the time, but it was really just a pebble in the road. And I tried to anchor myself to that moment and learn from it. What was this all trying to teach me? So Johnny just came in, and I told him that I did the reading already, and I asked him if he wanted to read it, and I would love to have a yin-yang, male-female kind of
Do I need to sit in that chair?
point of view.
Or do I just bring a chair over?
You want to sit here? You want to
Well,
take
I don't
over?
know. I mean, is that how you did it when you read it?
I did it here. I read to everyone. I read it, and you know, you could reread it again if you want, and
Well, I'm
you
saying,
can
you
reread
read
it
it
out
out
loud.
loud?
Yeah, I did. You want to read it out loud again?
Well, yeah. If you read it out loud, then I would absolutely read it out loud. And
You're getting a double treat today. Hold on. We didn't plan this way, but I like the fact that you're getting my reading, his reading, and two different perspectives. I'm getting another cup of coffee. Go ahead, honey. You're on.
Happy New Year, everybody. Elisa has asked me to read this Marc Nepo essay. It's a January 1st, and New Year's Day, and the title of the essay is Precious Human Birth. Marc Nepo is the author, and it's from the Book of Awakening. And so, without any further ado, of all things that exist, we breathe and wake and turn it into song. There is a Buddhist precept that asks us to be mindful of how rare it is to find ourselves in human form on earth. It is really a beautiful view of life that offers us the chance to feel enormous appreciation for the fact that we are here as individual spirits filled with consciousness, drinking water, and chopping wood. It asks us to look about at the ant and the antelope, at the worm and the butterfly, at the dog and the castrated bull, at the hawk and the wild, lonely tiger, at the 100-year-old oak and the 1,000-year-old patch of ocean. It asks us to understand that no other life form has the consciousness of being that we are privileged to. it asks us to recognize that of all the endless species of plants and animals and minerals that make up the earth, a very small portion of life has the wakefulness of spirit that we call being human. That I can arise from some depth of awareness to express this to you, and that you can receive me in this instant a part of our precious human birth. You could have been an ant. I could have been an anteater. You could have been rain. I could have been a lick of salt. But we were blessed in this time, in this place, to be human beings, alive, in rare ways we often take for granted. All of this to say, this precious human birth is unrepeatable. So what will you do today, knowing that you are one of the rarest forms of life to ever walk the earth? How will you carry yourself? What will you do with your hands? What will you ask, and of whom? Tomorrow, you could die and become an ant, and someone will be setting traps for you. But today, you're precious and rare and awake. It ushers us into grateful living. It makes hesitation useless. Grateful and awake. Ask what you need to know now. Say what you feel now, and love what you love now. Well, it's a very profound essay, and it certainly does offer up a worldview that would be characterized by deep appreciation. Again, if you do believe in the Buddhist precept that every soul goes through an endless series of deaths and rebirths until they reach nirvana, it's a very humbling idea about what a great, great privilege it is to be a human. And I think that it's interesting about how he mentions all the different species of life that this world has. And it also says all of this is to say this precious human birth is unrepeatable. Well, there may be some debate about that because, again, according to Buddhist precepts, human birth is repeatable, and you sometimes are born again in human form. And
But maybe this one is unrepeatable.
oh yeah, well, so I would agree with that. I think that identity is a very profound concern of us, and you'll never be the soul and the person that you are today. Again, if perchance you are born again in human form, you would still be a very different individual. But I think that the theme of this essay is gratitude and the ability to look out at the world and marvel at all of the creations and the life forms and realize that, we literally are at the, the apex, zenith of consciousness. And it's interesting because I can't help but think about something that's going on recently, which is all these drone sightings in New Jersey. And again, they're not just in New Jersey. They're in California. They're all across the United States. They're overseas. And I think that there's a growing restlessness in humans to be informed of the truth and to be again. Some people think that the government has covered up alien technology, alien life forms. And again, I don't want to weigh in on that. I'm just saying that it's certainly within the realm of possibility that your government is not telling you the truth. If you don't believe me, I would refer you to the Gulf of Tonkin incident and Kennedy's assassination. But, I think that the world is restless and longing to know the truth if there are other civilizations and other life forms. And that's kind of what I was thinking. But.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I didn't go down there though. I went, this book is such an anchor in my life. It's one that I've always, sometimes it sits and I've missed months where I didn't pick it up. And then all of a sudden I have something going on in my life and I'm like, I need Marc Nepo. And I'll just you can follow it, of course, by the date. You can buy this in the middle of the year and open it up to, July 4th, if that's the day that you bought it, and start there. But there are times that I just thumb through it and I'm just I'm asking for, who are you going to ask and of whom? So I'll be I'm asking Jesus, please lead me to some kind of passage in this book that I need to hear. And I always get an answer that way. So.
The other thing I think about when you speak of consciousness, of course, is our buddy Foofy over here.
I don't know why he's looking at that table like he's going to jump on it.
He's certainly conscious, but he does not have the same sort of consciousness of humans. I don't think that
he's superior to us.
I don't know about all that.
He is.
No.
I like when we're sitting there and we're talking, and then all of a sudden he does this.
Foofy, come over here.
The ghosts are here.
Come over here, Foofy, and say hello to
your... The ghosts are here.
Say hello to your fans, Daddy. Come here. Come on. Come on, Foofy. Say hello. Yeah. Poor Foofy. All the fireworks last night had him really shook up, and he was hiding under the Chippendale, and he wouldn't come out. I came downstairs several times, and I tried to, speak to him gently and tell him everything's going to be okay, but
he gave you the pull.
He wasn't having it because as I'm telling him everything's okay and all them bad noises are over, then another firework will go off.
We were outside for maybe 10 minutes with the fireworks.
More than
and
that.
I really trimmed that down because you don't want to.
More than that. The firework display
but
when
we came in,
long.
It was going on. It was 1:30 in the morning. They were still shooting fireworks off.
And don't forget, they didn't start at midnight. They were still doing them, even before midnight.
Yeah, they did start before midnight. You're right.
Come on, Daddy.
So this is our story for the new year.
Come on, Foofy.
You're not going to be able to pick him up in this small space that I'm
going
into. I feel like I'm back in my apartment in New York.
Come on, Daddy. Oh.
He's not coming.
No, he's
and if he does, Foofy's going to be fist fighting him all the way.
Come on.
We got no music today, but
Foofy.
We went to go see the Bob Dylan movie, and whether you're a Dylan fan or not, you have to go and see it.
Very good movie.
You have to go and see it. If you're Timothy, what's his last name?
Chalamet or something like that.
We murder everything.
No, it was his
He
performance was good. He really.
There were times that I was like, I had to remind myself that I was not looking at Bob Dylan. He was that good. He embodied him so well. And like, you really can't, you're going to try and cram Bob Dylan's life into, because then when we came out of the movie, we were talking about it. I was like, wasn't he in the Poconos with Joan Baez for like months? That's where the basement tapes came from. All them songs.
Again, they're only focusing on a very small period of Dylan's life. It was from like 61 when he must have just left Hibbing, Minnesota, and I think he hitched his way into New York City and Greenwich Village. But he also, again, I don't know how historically accurate this was because I know Hollywood tends to take liberties.
Inspired by Bob Dylan.
Yeah, no. So according to the film, he went to New York and he wanted to see Woody Guthrie, who was in a hospital.
Yeah.
And Pete Seeger, of course, was another contemporary folk singer of Woody Guthrie's, played by Ed Norton. And
Ed Norton was great.
It was
as
a good
Pete
story.
Seeger. But you guys that know me and know that I got married in December, and then John and I went to Cape May, and we go to Congress Hall to celebrate our anniversary. So you guys know I got the pictures of the No Hotel. Right? You had to see it in the movie.
There you go, Daddy.
You had to see the No Hotel in the movie. I'm like, they must have hog-tied her and put her in the closet. What did it look like, the No Motel?
It looked like Mardi Gras.
It did.
Come on, Foofy.
He's not going to stay. You're insistent with this cat. He's got his own mind.
Today is a new beginning and a chance to...
cat hair all over you now. I can't even get my little ball out.
A chance to... basically build the life that you want to, you know, every day.
That's how we started our relationship.
Every day this year, you'll have an opportunity to become the person that you would like to be. And no one but you can determine what kind of a person.
Did you ever read Verna?
Huh?
That's how we started our relationship. John's a reader, and he said to me during our early dating, "Can I read this to you?" And I was like, "No, I can read it myself." And he's like, "No, I want to read it to you." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And
did I ever read it for your readers?
You,
I mean, your
you read the story of missing persons. I think you did read it. I think you did read it.
Probably.
Missing persons.
Yeah, I think so.
And that was the foundation of our relationship, and it was creating the world that we want to live in. And that came out of my mouth a few years later when I started doing YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I found this really great tagline: create the world that you want to live in. It just came out of my mouth. I didn't even think of it. And he's like, no, it didn't. It's from the book.
Well, I mean, listen, that's exactly how it works, meaning that, you know, ideas are important. Ideas are very powerful. They matter. And so I'm very grateful that I exposed you to that story and consequently that idea. And you absorbed it into your consciousness, into your subconscious mind. And then it presented itself again to the point where you thought, oh, again,
came out of my mouth.
if you think you've had an original idea, then just read, because every idea under the sun's been done by Shakespeare and the Greeks and everything else. There's
I love that story though.
I think that I think that there's a principle in physics that matter is neither created nor destroyed. It can only transform from matter to energy, from energy to matter, etc. And I think that there's something in there that captures the whole process of creation, because when you create something, you're not actually creating something out of nothing. What you end up doing is you end up rearranging what already is into a new combination that has never been seen before. And that's, again, just to look at things like technology. And so take, for instance, television or radar. So when they invented the television, electricity was already there. Cathode ray tubes were already there. And it took the mind of man to say, well, we can rearrange this stuff and project onto this screen images. And so it seems like magic, but it really isn't, in the sense that the technological advance of television was created by the minds of engineers and scientists. But again, it was only a rearranging of that which was already there for that to come into being. So anyway.
So I hope that you have me as a guest when you start your philosophical channel.
Of course, why wouldn't I?
It's coming, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
You got to get that philosophy channel started. We're all waiting.
I'm done.
I'm done too. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you for being here with us again on our holiday. And Happy New Year. And I will see you all, depending on what John's schedule is. Am I with you tomorrow?
Bye. Huh?
Am I with you tomorrow?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
What do you mean, are you with me tomorrow? We're married. What kind of question is that?
Bye.